Majo John Madden. Uh, I want to tell the story of love, a story about love in Mexico, which is such a romantic country. And everywhere I travel over the last year, lovers, lovers everywhere. And I had a chance to have one. And you know the old adage, if your new lover seems too good to be true, beware. So this girl was a taxi driver, first female taxi driver I had met. I was in the very romantic city of Jalapa, the state capital up in the mountains, at Christmas time. It was December. And I was needing to go from my hotel room right downtown, which was darn cheap, really, for being right downtown in the state capital at Christmas time. Chicago, forget that. I needed to go the 10-minute drive from the hotel to where my van was being repaired. And taxi pulled up, and it was a brand new, smallish taxi. And there was this pretty girl. I wasn't expecting that. And she was charming and funny and lovely. I later found out that she sang fabulously, danced fabulously, drove like the wind. Classic taxi driver, took all kinds of risks so well that I never felt afraid. I just was moved to say, that was bold and good job. That was a hell of a move. So she was a lot of wonderful things, and she was into me. That 10-minute drive, we both were dizzy by the end of it. Now, the first warning that something was maybe not great was she wildly overcharged me. Taxi drivers don't do that in Mexico. When I first got down here, I was afraid of that. No, it's really cheap, and they're very consistent. She charged me about 3 times what anybody else would have charged while she was falling in love with me, supposedly. So what's wrong with that picture? So I stayed a couple of nights at her apartment. Now, second thing that... oh, God. She said, well, I've got 3 months to go on a celibacy break, a 1-year celibacy break. She had her heart broken by some guy, and the way part of the how she repaired it was to take a year off of guys. Didn't stop her from importing a guy into her life and bringing her to her apartment. Yeah, but I was sleeping on the floor. Oh, no, in her apartment, I was sleeping in a whole different room. Yeah. So, okay, strike 2. Yeah, I said, is this negotiable? 3 more months? I'm going to go totally insane. She says, no, this is solid. So then she took me to her house. Now, the third or fifth, I don't know how many, the third thing that was out of whack was she's a taxi driver. She had 3 houses. She had an apartment in Jalapa where she drove on the weekends only. She had a house in a town off of the mountain about an hour south of there, and an apartment at the beach. Yeah. And she had 3 cars. She had the taxi. She had an old beat-up Japanese thing that she wasn't driving. She had a brand new BMW Roadster convertible. Oh, my God. Well, her dad was, parents are crazy about their kids in Mexico. Her dad could not say no to her. She was the apple of his eye, and she was such a charmer. So I think he had something to do with that Roadster. Yeah. So, so strike 4. She took me down to her house in Cardell, and then promptly went back up to Jalapa to drive taxi for the weekend. And what I realized was it was one taxi. Her dad drove it during the week. She drove it on the weekend. So she went back up. So I was alone. She had, a couple of days before, adopted a puppy that was just walking down the street, abandoned. And I don't know what moved her to do that, because she obviously didn't like him. No. When we got to her apartment, the puppy was outside in the backyard. It was all fenced in. Beautiful backyard with an in-ground pool and lots of plants. It was gorgeous. Small, but gorgeous. Not super small. And the puppy was out there, and he was dying to get at us at the other side of the sliding glass door in the house, and she just totally ignored him. Totally ignored him. I went out and picked him up and gave him some attention. He was, maybe 8-week-old puppy. He was so vulnerable. And apparently her son had been taking care of him, such as that was. So she takes off, goes back to Jalapa and drives, comes back, and no hugs for me. No. And no attention. With a lot of people who have a dog, you greet the dog first and then your partner. A lot of people do that. Well, she didn't greet that dog at all. At all. And that dog, for some reason, was attached to her and wanted to get at her in the worst way. So I said, I'm going to sleep outdoors. And then the deal was, that dog is not allowed in the house. Not allowed in the house. No. She had some notion about he'd have bugs or something. So I said, well, I'm going to sleep outdoors with the dog, because I had gotten really tight with that dog over 2 days. We were bonded. I was mom to that dog. I'm going to sleep outside with the dog. So I did. Then the next night, somehow I had gotten so exhausted. I had walked a very long way on a very hot day, and I was on a pad next to her bed on the floor, just unable to move. I was so exhausted. And the puppy slipped in. She didn't literally kick the dog out of the house. She dribbled him like a soccer ball with her feet. I'm screaming, do not kick that dog. Pick him up. Pick him up, give him some love. No. Okay, strike 7, I don't know. The next day I said, this is not working. I gotta go back to Jalapa. I'm sorry, we said we were, and I told her to begin with I wasn't gonna be monogamous. I won't anymore with anybody. She didn't seem to mind that, because nothing was gonna happen anyway. So I said, no, I'm out. This is not gonna work. You have to get me back to Jalapa. And she'd been saying that maybe her dad would drive me up there. But I said, it's over. I just can't be lovers with you. Can't be partners. No. And she says, okay, no problem. I said, Madden you, heart smasher. Wow, you just ruined that poor girl's life. But she was furious. She got so ungrounded. She wouldn't talk to me. She wouldn't look to me. And the sign of how ungrounded she was terribly athletic, incredibly athletic. There was around the pool, there was a wall that was half a foot wide. She'd dance on that. She'd dance all around on that. She was incredible. Well, she needed to do something up on the roof, and she put up a big ladder, climbed up to the top, stepped on the top step of that A-frame ladder, stepped on the top step, pulled herself up, she was super strong, onto the roof, and proceeded to work on the tiles and stuff. I thought, she has lost it. She has lost it. She was so ungrounded. Then she said, okay, I'm going to drive you to Jalapa. I'll drive you. And she got out the sports car. And I thought, the way she drives that little Toyota cab, oh my God, and was so ungrounded and furious, obviously, what's going to happen? And earlier she had said, let's go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. And I said, honestly, hon, I don't want to go anywhere with you. I just want to go to Jalapa. You said could you please get me to Jalapa? She says, okay, we'll go to Jalapa. She drove us as far as downtown Cardell, 20 minutes, and she says, no, I'm going to the beach. You and the puppy, I had decided I was taking the puppy. You and the puppy get out. I'll be back in an hour. Well, I was furious. And it was getting dark and getting cold. And she comes back, and she's all happy, bright, has been in the sun, and barefoot skipping through the park where I was. And I said, okay, please take me to Jalapa. And it was getting cold. And she dumped me out there so fast I didn't have a chance to get my sweater, and I was cold. So we get to the convertible roadster, and she's obviously not going to close it up. I said, I need my sweater for the hour trip up to Jalapa. And she says, I'm in a hurry, let's go now. And that's when I snapped, and I said, now, damn it. She looked at me. All my stuff in the car, all my clothes, all my phone peripherals. She looked at me and took off. Dumped me. Dumped me at the town square. She knew I had no money, an hour away from my car in Jalapa. Just dumped me. So, yeah. Hey, it was a learning experience. It was. It was. I learned a lifetime. I'll be unpacking the things I learned from that chick for a lifetime. Okay, bye.